All right, so yesterday I was in my guitar room and I heard someone knocking on the door, and I was like, "Oh my God, the cops are coming to get me!" And then I checked, and it turned out my tubes came in the mail. And so I'm just really excited. I'm going to open up these Ruby tubes that I purchased off the Guitar Center website for you right now, right in front of you. I don't know if you're going to like it, but we're going to do it right now. All right, take a knife. We're going to cut it right down the middle. Rip them over, just like that. Guitar Center website, Ruby tubes. These are 4 tubes. You don't need that. And the 4 tubes only cost me $60. I'm going to see what they look like. Oh, here. Oh, right out of the box. All right, we're going to put these down in the Super 6, and we're going to hear how they sound. And hopefully my amp's going to be working correctly after I put some of these new 6L6 tubes that are matched. Alright, so down under here, I hope you can see, these are the old tubes. I already took one of them out. They weren't matched. I had 2 groove tubes in here, and I had 2 of these tubes. I don't know where they came from, but we're just going to, well, I'm going to make sure that the amp's not on, of course. I mean, just for you dumbasses out there that don't know shit. Yeah, and you probably want to make sure that your amp's unplugged too. Well, it wasn't plugged in to begin with, so we're ready to take out these tubes. Just gonna yank them down like that. Sometimes you gotta wiggle with them. Come on, baby. You gotta take this middle thing, just kind of yank them out. Take them out carefully. I'm remembering what tubes I take out of which socket. They were all lighting up, but I do remember them going blue the other day when I had a different cab plugged into this amp. Okay, so those tubes weren't even matched. Now, the pairs of them might have been matched together, but we're going to use all 4 matched Ruby tubes that I just got in the mail, and the whole set cost me $60 for these 6L6 power tubes. And I'm just so excited to have these tubes, and hopefully my amp is going to start working right again. Last time it was doing something like this. Here we go, and this is what they look like. Ruby tubes. I don't really know what these numbers mean, but it says 1821 matched 6L6 Ruby tubes, and we're going to compare them to the Groove tube, because apparently these are made by the same manufacturer, and they're just tested and rebranded. Now there is a little bit of difference, it looks like, in the design of them. They look almost the same, but not quite right. But they are made by the same factory. They're not exactly identical, but they look pretty close. Like you can see, this one has a little bit of a higher plastic piece on it. I hope you can see that. I don't know how my filming's going. I don't really know if these tubes are actually bad. I'm just hoping that this works, and because they were so inexpensive, I could afford to replace all of my tubes at the same time. So I'm going to put that right in there. That's number 1. Then we're going to take this one, put it right in here. Just kind of make sure all the little holes line up. Now, an amp, a lot of times if you change the tubes in them, you're supposed to rebias an amp. Now you don't automatically have to rebias an amp, but if the amp sounds different and you don't like the way it sounds, then it probably means that it needs to be rebiased. Now, rebiasing an amp requires you to take the actual amplifier out of the chassis. So I'm just going to hear how it sounds with these matched tubes in here. And if I don't like the way it sounds, I might think about either adjusting my pedals or my playing style to accommodate the new sound of the tubes. But if I really don't like it, I guess I could open it up and rebias it. I've never done that before, but I've seen some videos on it. Alright, so they're all in. Now, there's no safety issue about rebiasing the amp, as far as I can tell. Light up. Yep, looks like they're lit up. You ain't supposed to touch those tubes when they're lit up. I've done it before, but don't do as I say, don't do as I do. Alright, looks like they're lighting up. I'm going to let them warm up. Alright. Alright, so I just put the new tubes inside the amp, and I'll tell you what, the amp sounds good, but it still cuts in and out a little bit. I might have to have a professional look at my amp, but the amp still, it sounds better than it did before with these mashed tubes in it. I'm just going to play it for you. My amp still is cutting out a little bit, so there are a couple little things I'm going to try to do with it, but I might just have to leave it on, maybe take it upstairs and let it like dry out because it's been in the basement. But I hope I get this thing working back, but it still sounds good. Alright, so it looks like I was screwing around with it. I was messing with the volume knobs and all that, and I was going like this real fast with them. And I don't know what the hell's going on with it, but it seems like it hasn't cut out. It hasn't cut out for like the last 15 minutes, so I'm hoping that maybe something was just dirty inside of there. Well, I'm going to play it a little bit for you. Alright, seems to be holding up. I think it's about as loud as it was. I can't tell. I mean, this is a really loud amp, so even if it was half volume, it might be hard to tell, but I think this is full volume. I mean, it's not up all the way, but I think it's working right as of now. Alright, so we're going to have to wait on the verdict on this. But I think that the Ruby tubes sound pretty good. But it seems like stuff seems to be working pretty good. I just kind of went like this on the amp. I just hope it's not an output transformer. See how I kind of hear a little bit of fizzle fazzle? Maybe if I go like that. I turn the reverb all the way down. Let's hear how that sounds with my normal patch on there. I think that's pretty loud, and as long as it doesn't cut out. Alright, so I'm going to call it fixed for now. Alright, thanks for watching the channel.